Hello and welcome to the video with me, Winner Andrew, to another video of Weekly Andrew, in which, once again, this week I only actually have one anime to talk about. So, I'll just go straight to that, considering I did basically already know which one I was going to talk about this week, which is Shadow Garden, due to the fact that its final episode has aired. So, yeah, this was a very edgy isekai, to be honest, kind of. And yeah, I guess I'm just kind of just more or less go over just a general idea of what it is, kind of. Sid basically created a secret organization, which is Shadow Garden, of course, to destroy a cult that he didn't even realize was real, and also on top of that, he didn't actually realize he actually created a secret organization, and that all the girls in it are actually going along with it and aren't just playing along with his game. But while he's doing all that, he's basically just trying to live a normal life as a background character. Yeah. And also, of course, while he's doing all that, all the girls that are in Shadow Garden are actually trying to destroy the cult of Diablos. And they also think that Shadow, Sid, actually knows everything and is doing his part of the plan to destroy the cult of Diablos. Despite the fact that he's not, because he doesn't even know the cult actually exists. So, yeah. Overall, I would say that this anime is quite good, to be honest. Despite how dumb Sid is, to be honest, as well. But, yeah, the biggest problem I think this thing really has is the fact that there are too many characters. To the point where, like, basically all the Shadow Garden girls basically just don't really get much character development at all. Because we just see them so rarely and there's so many of them. That's basically mostly all I really have to say for it, kind of. But, yeah. I really did enjoy this anime a lot more than I was expecting to. To the point that I would actually like to see a second season for it, for sure, at this point. Just to see where the story goes from this point on. But, yeah. I don't really know what else to say there, so I guess I'll just end that little talk about Shadow Garden there and just move on to the next thing, which is Devious World, because I got around to doing that update for it. So, yeah, the update for Devious World kind of got split in two due to a problem with Twine, apparently. So now there's a male version and female version of Devious World for now, basically. So, basically just starting from the top here, Jamie, Dr. Cal, Health and Glare, which is basically just a continuation of what was there with the loot stuff, and, yeah. It went exactly how I expected it to go, and also is the reason why I delve out of all the options for people that you can go to the decontamination room with, this was the one that I liked the least. So yeah, and there's also the option to go into decon room for Jamie to go into the decon room by himself, in which doesn't actually have anything else after that point, so not really anything there. Now, Jack, with his son realizing that he wants him to start dating again. So yeah, uh, that somehow go leads to the point where you end up having a relationship with your son. So, father, son. Yeah, I don't know how in the world it got to that point, but it did. So, yeah. Jamie. Back to Jamie again. With this alternative fork for Jamie's job at Monofilament. Which, just to give a bit of backstory here for this part here, uh, Jamie got a cybersecurity job, and got a phishing call from a hacker group, and one of the co-workers rewarded him with tons of premium currency. And before, this just continued on from that point with no options there, but now you got another option there that you can choose, which basically just Once you finish your job there, you go home and start doing tons of gotcha pulls. Considering all that premium currency you got was enough for 1,000 tin pulls. So you go home, spend hours doing 1,000 tin pulls of gotcha. And of course, on that 1,000th one, you get summoned to another world yourself, where you are supposed to summon the Star Warriors to save that world. So do more gotcha, basically. And also, when you get to that world, you get greeted by a nun whose name is Freepul. Rfipul. Freepul. Don't know exactly what the reasoning is behind that name, but that's the nun's name, apparently. And to be honest, out of everything that was added in this update, I would say this was my favorite edition, personally. So, yeah. Really not much there at all, but it was my favorite edition of this update. But, yeah, last thing for male characters, which is Eric doing the adventure shop stuff there, in which you get the job to kill rats in a cellar, in which you go and start looking around the cellar there for something to actually kill the rats with, considering all you have is a stick, in which you eventually find a crate which has a knife in it, but also has a potion in it. And yeah, that's basically where it ends, where you decide if you want to actually use that potion or not, basically. Now on to the female characters with Cyan's long list of content that she got. Starting with the male dungeon lords thing there, in which this added two of the gotcha options for that, which is mainly just the epic device, considering the other one doesn't actually have anything, to be honest. But the epic device one has a lot of content. And if it wasn't for Layla's thing at the end there, I'd say that this had the most content out of everything in this update. And kind of just summarize kind of things that actually go on in this little thing for the epic device. You and what epic device you get basically makes it where you can turn captive adventurers into anything you want. So yeah, there's stuff there that goes quite on for a bit, and from what I can tell, everything with the Dungeon Lord stuff is kind of going to follow the same kind of path, with like the first two adventurers that come into the dungeon being the exact same each time, I'd guess. Considering so far we've gotten to see that twice, and both times it's been the same ones. But next one, Cyan. Once again with a demon Cyan focusing on boys, which doesn't really say anything there, but this is where, as it were, a demon took over Cyan's body, so it's not really Cyan anymore. It's just a demon that took over Cyan's body. And, yeah, that was kind of altered a bit there, apparently. And also just continues on at this point where you get the two boys there to rape Leslie. Now, moving on to the next one. Cyan with a tentacle egg thing there. Not really much there at all, to be honest, but somehow it gets to the point where Arena, the one person with you there, wants you to put that egg back inside you. Yeah, I guess that'll be interesting if it's continued, but weird. And the next one, Cyan Home Product Tester thing there, it's basically just set up for more stuff in the future, to be honest, and seems quite similar to the other Aperture test product stuff that you see in the game, like with shamey stuff that has to do with it. But the one thing that's different with this one is you got a VTuber doing your job interview for you. And it's also apparently going to be your testing overseer or whatever. So, yeah, VTuber. Think that's the first time that's been done in Devious World here, bringing a VTuber in. And then finally, the last thing for Cyan with a BR Skyrim, which is basically just world mods, which literally is just a selection of mods there. That's only one of them is currently actually available, which is just adding a horse anthros to the game, basically, though that's where it stops. It's just selecting that single mod, basically. So, yeah. That's that stuff done for all of science, so now to Mari. And yeah, to join Sally and Ken. Well, just to sum that up, basically, they're having sex, and also Ken is your son. Yeah. Next one. Mari getting color while shopping with Sally. Basically, yeah, pretty much become Sally's pet, and have to do anything she tells you to, though you do get options still, of course. So that's basically, from what I can tell with what's actually been written there, is just her asking you things, not that she's telling you things to do. So you kinda get a bit of control there, I guess. But, yeah, final one with Layla and the relocation to Hill Heights. Which this one took me a while to go through considering how much content is in it, considering I'm pretty sure I spent like 3 to 4 hours going through everything here. There's 3 schools that you choose from, and only one of them is actually currently available, and that one is a reform school, where the teachers can basically do anything they want as punishment. And Layla doesn't actually realize it's a reform school, except on one route where she eventually learns that. But currently, with everything that's there, you pretty much just go about things there for a bit, just acting as if everything is normal. The punishments are normal, at first denying that's actually happening. And, yeah, as you go through that, you eventually have 2 points where you can actually choose to run away from school, both of them leading to the same thing, which continues on after that a bit, where you can choose who you go to, basically. Only one of those options being available currency, which is apparently your cousin or something. So, yeah. But out of everything here, what I honestly think is going to be the most interesting thing, though it's not actually currency in the game, is the options there that are for helping students at the beginning there. Considering that, I feel like would be quite interesting and be the most unique thing out of everything here. So I'm honestly looking forward to that stuff being written. Considering Layla is a bully, get to the school, and she's all of a sudden helping students and being a good student herself after just a single warning during her orientation. And the thing about this is that none of the other students in the school are actually helping anyone that's messing up, basically, due to how scared they are and everything. So Layla going on to helping other students and being the one student that's actually doing it, yeah, I feel like that'd be quite interesting to see, especially with it being the most unique thing out of all of it, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, that's pretty much everything there, I think. So, that's Devious World done at this point. So, I guess I'll kind of just quickly mention the fact that I didn't actually get around to doing a live stream this week. If that wasn't obvious, because due to the fact I didn't actually upload any stream on YouTube or anything. Yeah, I just didn't get around to doing that. So I guess I'll be doing that final stream for Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds this weekend, which I should be able to get around to considering it's a weekend, I got more time, do stuff. So, yeah. I honestly don't really know if I actually have anything else to talk about right now. I guess I could mention something, considering the now and then director's cut for update is about to be released, apparently. So I guess that's something I could eventually do, though I'll probably not actually really talk about in these videos, considering it's just little bits of content here and there, and basically just making things better for that game. So, yeah, guess kind of have that to look forward to a little bit, though I don't know if I'm actually really going to be playing it. But, yeah, got that's going on, apparently. Was it about to be released? But, yeah. I guess I'll just go ahead and end the video here. I honestly don't have anything else to talk about. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.